The families of those killed in last year's catastrophic explosion in Beirut have told SBS World News they now fear for their own safety. It follows last week's violent protests against the investigation into the deadly blast. As political interference in the probe reaches new heights, the families are ramping up their calls for an independent international investigation, something they say Australia can assist with.
Elias Khouri's parents never knew he was secretly recording music. Now his songs are the only way they can still hear their son's voice.
My son was killed in his own room. My son is a 15-year-old young man. He was full of life, full of happiness, with big dreams.
For almost half his life, 2,750 tonnes of ammonium nitrate was being stored just down the road from his home. There's evidence Lebanese officials knew about it and did nothing. His mother is determined to hold them accountable.
I live for this hope. I mean, this is the only thing that's getting me out of my room. Don't we deserve support? Don't we deserve justice?
But speaking up comes with a cost. Last week, Shia allies Hezbollah and Amal held protests that turned violent. They were demanding the judge leading the investigation into the blast be sacked. He summoned two former Amal ministers for questioning on suspicion of criminal negligence. They refused to attend. The following day brought a new twist. The spokesman for the victims' families releasing this video.
To Judge Tariq Bitar, we trusted you with the debt of our dead. But what happened, and is still happening, points to scandalous politicisation. Therefore, we are asking you to step down.
Reading from a script and glancing off camera, the other families believe he was speaking under duress.
They can't talk, so, nobody's targeted and say, yeah, I'm targeted. But we think that, yes, we're not being secured today. So even us, we're being very careful.
3-year-old Alexandra Najjar was playing in her home when the blast ripped through it. She didn't survive. Her parents believe Lebanon's long-divided political elite were all complicit.
They managed to unite on this case in crime, obstructing justice in any way that they can. Now it's bullets and weapons and missiles against justice, and they're willing to go all the way, but we are as well.
The investigation has already been suspended 3 times amid unfounded claims of bias against Judge Tariq Bitar by the former ministers he's investigating. He's now receiving threats. A journalist reportedly passing him a message from Hezbollah that said, "We will remove you."
As to why Hezbollah is trying to sabotage or trying to kind of get rid of that, multiple explanations, be it protecting allies, be it potentially knowing something that Judge Bitar has or is about to uncover.
They've threatened to walk out of the government. They've threatened civil strife if the judge isn't removed. So the investigation is in a very precarious position.
And that's why the last hope for many of these families is international help. 2-year-old Australian Isaac Allers was one of the youngest to die that day. His mother wants Australia to take the lead and put forward a resolution at the Human Rights Council for a UN-led investigation that would work alongside Judge Bitar's.
He was an innocent child sitting in his home having dinner, a place where he should have been the safest. When he was taken in a really, really brutal and horrible manner. Isaac was an Australian citizen. So they, I think, have a duty of care to Isaac to fight for justice on his behalf.
SBS has asked the Department of Foreign Affairs if it would make that commitment. But so far, there's been no response. Claudia Farhat, SBS World News.